Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So now we're moving on to the third chapter in the second bab, which is what? So we have the muqaddimah. In Babu Thani, we're discussing Jumla, Shibhul Jumla, and Kalam. So now we're discussing the third part, which is the third aspect. So we have Jumla, Shibhul Jumla, and number 3 is Kalam. So what we know what Jumla is, we know what Shibhul Jumla is, now we know what Kalam is. We know what each of these terms mean. So Al-Fasl Thalith fil Kalam, the third fasl, the third section in the second bab of the Muqaddimah is regarding Al-Kalam. وَهُوَ قَوْلٌ مُفِيدٌ. وَهُوَ, a Kalam is a قَوْلٌ مُفِيد. What does قَوْلٌ mean? قَوْلٌ means a statement, an utterance. It's a statement. Yes? And Mufidun means beneficial. It means beneficial, but it's a bit more deep than that. If I said to you, for example, Rasulullah, is that a qawlun? Rasulullahi. It's a qawlun. But if I just say Rasulullah, is that a complete sentence? Does it give me full information? It's a phrase, it's not a sentence, it's a phrase. So what about Rasulullah? Did you go to visit his masjid? Did you go to do you love him? Do you obey him? Do you believe in him? What about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? So because it doesn't give us full information, it is not mufid. Mufid means something when you stop, you understand what's being said. It's like, I love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now that's the whole sentence. You understand this? Are you following me? You understand? So this is not mufid. Uhibbu Rasulullah sallallahu. That's a jumla mufid. That's a qawlun mufid. So mufid basically means a sentence. Basically, what we have in our book as a phrase in a sentence. So it has to be a sentence which, when you complete it, it makes sense to you. And the person who's hearing knows what you're talking about. So that's why I made my mufid. It has to be a statement which is complete. Okay? Following? Any questions regarding this? Okay. وَهُوَ قِسْمًا. This is also of two categories. Okay, Al-Qism al-Awwal al-Mujab. What's the first word we're going to learn here? What is it going to be? Mujab. Yes, what's the word? Mujabun. So we have Kalam, and Kalam means something that is complete. Qawlun mufidun, a complete sentence. When you say the sentence, you finish. It's complete. Okay. Now this Kalam can either be Mujab or it can be Ghayr Mujab. Opposite of Mujab is Ghayr Mujab. What does Mujab mean? Wahuwa. Let's see first this. Wahuwa. Mujab, Maz Mawsul, is that. Mujab is that. Laysa fihi. And then this is the ism here. This is the ism mu'akhar. This is khabar muqaddam. There isn't a nafi in it. You understand the structure? So wahuwa al-kalam al-mujab is that. Laysa fihi nafyun, in which there is no what's nafyun mean? Yeah, negative sentence. So wahuwa ma laysa fihi nafyun is that in which there is is not a negative, meaning there's no ma, there's no lam, there's no laysa. Aw nahyun. There is no, what does nahyun mean? A negative command. So nafyun means a simple negative. I did not sit, I did not see, I did not drink. Nahyun, do not sit, do not drink. An imperative but negative. Aw istifhamun inkariyun. Istifham, just for now, let's say istifham. A question, but not really asking a question. You're trying to basically say no. Don't you understand? Did I not explain this to you before? So I'm not really asking you a rhetorical question. We're just trying to say, we have a question, but we're basically just saying no. Is it not obvious? It is obvious. So if you have one of these, not like man anta, not that kind of question, like man anta, ma hadha, not that kind of question. But there is like, hal indi jabal min al-dhahab? They can ask you for something expensive. Do you think I have a mountain of gold by me? Meaning I don't have gold, a mountain of gold. I can't buy everything you want. I'm not that rich. You understand? So if you have an istifham for not necessarily asking information, not this kind of istifham, but istifham which is more of a negative aspect. So, but again, let's keep it basic for now. Istifham. So, a kalam mujab is a basic affirmative. So, mujab means affirmative. So, a kalam mujab is an affirmative sentence, meaning there's no negative in it, There's no nafi, no nahi, or no istifham, which gives a negative meaning. So it's affirmative. It's like something happened, or something is happening, or something will happen. You understand? Is it clear what mujab is? For example, nashkurullah. Nashkurullah. We are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is kalam. This is a jumla, and it's also kalam because it's what it's a jumla, but it's also kalam because it's qawlun mufidun. When you say nashkurullah, you understand what I'm saying, don't you? And then it is mujab. It is affirmative. It's not. There's no negative, and there's no negation, or there's no rhetorical question in it. So this is now a kalam mujab. Are you following me? Understood? Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Moving on. We have ghayrul mujab. What do we have? Ghayrul mujab. It's the opposite. So what do you think it means? The previous affirmative. So we translate this as what? Negative. This will be a negative. وَهُوَ مَا فِيهِ. And this is a sentence which has no reward for guessing. What does it have inside of it? Either what? Nafyun or nahyun or istifhamun. So it has a negative, or it has a nahi, or it has an istifham. For example, ma ashrakna billahi ahada. We do not ascribe anyone with Allah as partners. So that negative. Or nahyun. La tushrik billahi ahada. Do not ascribe anyone as partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or istifham inkari, again, that istifham, which is not necessarily for asking who are you, man anta, but so you're saying, what, really, seriously, it can't be, don't do this. Atushrikuna billah, are you ascribing partners to Allah? Really? What are you thinking? So it's like a negative question, it's a question with a negative connotation. So all of these are called what? Kalamun ghayru mujabin, or ghayr al-mujab. So the first affirmative sentence, affirmative kalam, or a ghayr mujab, a negative kalam. And an affirmative, it doesn't have a nafi, or a nahi, or istifham, and a ghayr mujab will have any of these three. Understood? Yeah? Okay. So we have here our muqaddimah. I'm going to basically get rid of the Wusta on the next slide, just because you know what we're doing anyways. I'm just going to keep the main heading so we can add more information. So al-bab al-awwal, we had al-kalima. So the muqaddimah had al-bab al-awwal, we had kalima. What are the types of kalima? Ism, fa'al, and harf. What was the differentiating factor between them, ism, fa'al, and harf? Muqtarin bi what? Muqtarin bi zamanin. So ism and fa'al both tadullu ala ma'nan fi nafsiha. They indicate a meaning. You know the meaning from the word itself. Okay? But ism does not have a tense. غَيْرَ مُقْتَرِنٍ بِزَمَانٍ. And fa'al is مُقْتَرِنٍ بِزَمَانٍ. It has a tense. And a harf, it has a meaning intrinsic, but the full meaning of that particle is understood with the words after it, like inna, ta'keed. But ta'keed of what is only understood with the ism and the khabar after it. Then the Babu Thani, we had three sub-chapters in there. We discussed jumla, and a jumla can either be jumlatun ismiya or jumlatun fa'liya. Then we had shibul jumla. The shibul jumla can either be what? Jar majroor or dharf mudaf ilay. And then we had a third chapter, we have kalam, and kalam can either be what? Mujab or ghayr mujab. Mujab means affirmative, and ghayr mujab means negative. And then we're going to have al-babu thalith next lesson, inshallah. So have you understood the grammar of this chapter? Yes, any questions regarding that? No, okay. Now let's try doing some i'rab. So okay, so remember, if you have a mu'arab word or a noun or a verb, grammatical function, i'rab, and the way the i'rab is manifested. So let's start from here. How do the i'rab of this? So fi'l mudari, you state the grammatical function. So the grammatical function of a fi'l mudari is you just say fi'l mudari, and then Marfu'. And how is the marfu' expressed? How is it marfu'? What's the sign of it being marfu'? Anyone else? Dhamma. Very good. So this dhamma shows that it's marfu'. So it's fi'l mudari as a grammatical function, the i'rab, and the way the i'rab is manifested. Finish it off. What's the word lafz jalala? What's the i'rab of lafz jalala? Is it? It's mansoob. لفظ جلال مفعول به منصوب بالفتحة. Very good. But what's missing in the Arab? The fa'il. Can you see the fa'il? Exactly. So then you have to say here, what's Zamir Mustatir? What is it? It's hidden. What is it? Nahnu. So nahnu, you will say here now, nahnu is what? It's fa'ilun. It's marfu'. Correct? Can you see, but because it's hidden, does it have it's mabit now? Does it have an alama? Does it change? Or is it marfu' by slot? Like, for example, when it's a mu'arab word, if it's a mu'arab word, then you can see, well, it's a dhamma, fatha, kasra. But the word nahnu is hidden, and this doesn't show the Arab. This is a mabni word. The dhamma doesn't show the Arab. The Arab is what? Hidden. Remember Arab mahalli from the Sugra? So this Arab of this is what? You say marfu'un, but how is it marfu'? Mahallan, meaning it's a marfu' slot. It's not marfu' with any alama. We just say, well, because it is a fa'il, it is marfu', but there's no Arab, or there's no sign to denote the marfu'. It's just marfu' in a slot. So you say marfu'un mahallan. And then what is it becoming? Marfu'un. And it's a zamir mustatir. Okay? Yes, following? It would probably be better to put zamir mustatir here. It'd be easier. I mean, see what happens? There's no one way of doing it. Like, this has to be 100%. It's just like, okay, we want to get all the information in. It's probably better to put here. Nahnu, put it here first. Zamirun mustatirun fa'il. It's probably better to put it here. It'd be easier to read and it will make more sense. So you put here, because you have it's zamirun mustatir, fa'il, marfu'un mahallan. So we'll do it that way. Put the zamir mustatir first. I mean, like, books have it different ways, but I want to keep, because what happens is that if you don't keep one structure, then it gets too much it gets confusing for students throughout the book. So we have the one stop. If it's zamir mustatir, you mention it straight away. So we have zamirun mustatirun. Nahnu zamirun mustatirun fa'ilun marfu'un mahallan. You got it? Yes? Okay. And then lafz jalala, we already mentioned previously. Okay? The next word we have is ma ashrakna billahi ahada. Okay. So harfun nafyin is you put is a mabni word, so you state the function. Harfun nafyin. What's it mabni on? Sukun. Ma. Ada sukun. So ma harfun nafyin mabniyun ala sukun. Then ashrakna. Not ashraka, ashrak. Yes, so the ashrak is, yeah. Fa'il al-madhin. Ala sukun, that sukun there. The ashrak will never change. Ma ashrak, hal ashrak. The ashrak, the sukun on the kaf will never change. It will always be ashrak, sukun. So you say here, mabniyun ala sukun. That ashrak na is sukun. And then, na is what? Fa'ilun. But what is it? Marfu'un muhallan. Yeah, because why? Na is mabni word. So it's a fa'il, but it's what? Marfu'un muhallan. And because it's mabni, you have to say it's mabni al sukun. What is it? Na, it ends in a sukun. So it's mabni al sukun. Now it'll always be na. It will never be ni or nu. It's always na. Mabni with the sukun, na. So you have this grammatical state. Because there's no alama, there's no manifestation, you say mahallan. Meaning the marfu is not via, the mahallan is not expressed, the marfu is not expressed via words, it's expressed via what? Mahal. So you say marfu'un mahallan. Because mabni, you have to say mabniun ala sukoon. Understood? The next. Harfun jar. مبني على الكسر. Good. مجرور بالكسرة. Okay. Then مفعول به منصوب الفتحة. So you got the last part right. محدا مفعول به منصوب الفتحة. However, this billahi, what does it become? This billahi. You see here. Now when you have a jar majroor, what do we need to do? We say the shibhul jumla is maf'ul bihi ghayr sarih, isn't it? So you have to say here maf'ulun bihi thanin ghayru sarih. Are you following? Because this is maf'ul bihi awwal, the ahadan is maf'ul bihi awwal. And then the shibhul jumla is in what slot? If it's a maf'ul bihi slot, what's it going to be? But is it alama for it to be mansub? So you just say mahallan. So remember this part here. Let's go over this part. So when we have, let's go over this part again. So the first part is the fi'l madi. So when you got mabni word, so you state what it is. Mabni on what? Okay. This is the fi'l mudari, fi'l madi. So it's mabni al-sukun. And the na is a fa'il. Now, when you have a jar majroor, after a jar majroor, you need to state what this shibul jumla becoming. What's the grammatical function of the shibul jumla? So the shibul jumla becomes what? You have to state what it's becoming. The shibul jumla is becoming this. The state of that shibul jumla, and obviously there's no manifestation because it's mahallan. So it's a mansub mahallan, marfu'un mahallan, but usually mansub mahallan. Does that make sense? So when you have a shibul jumla, this is how you do this. Is this Arab clear to everybody? Any questions? Yeah. If we have a maf'ul bihi and maf'ul bihi ghayr sari, both of them, you will normally make the maf'ul bihi the sari, the explicit one. You will make that one the maf'ul bihi, and you make this one the ghayr sari, the shibul jumla ghayr sari. Okay, so what we're going to do, because this is something new, we're going to do, it's been on the board, let's do it again. So we got somebody else to do it again, this is a practice, because this is a bit of a newer structure. Let's start again, bismillah. Harfun nafyin, and then it's going to be mabni sudu, two elements of a mabni word. Next word is what? Ashrak. It's ashrak. It's really ashrak, but you write it together. Even though it's two words, write together. So ashrakna, but in there look at the ashrak part. The ashrak part is what? Fa'il madi mabni al sukun. And then is it mustatir? I can see it. It's not mustatir. I can see it. It's in front of my eyes. Yeah, but you don't need to say. I mean, some people do say all of that, but because we know it's zamir, we can see it. We're just going to say, hey, what? It's fa'il. Na is fa'il. Because what happens is sometimes some books do write it, but it has so many different variations. I'm trying to say, well, I'm trying to make a system where everything is uniform. Just say, because we can see it anyways. We only say it's mustatir when it's abnormal. So if it's a zamir, we know it's zamir anyways. So we can leave it. Only when it's zamir mustatir, we mention it. So that we can say, okay, zamir mustatir. When it's there, we just say what it is to make things easier. We have trying to keep it uniform. Okay, carry on. مرفوع محلا مبني للسكون. Next one. So باء حرف جر عن مبني للسكون. السكون B مبني على الكسر. Good. Then لفظ دلالة اسم مجرور بالكسر كسرتي because مؤرب بالكسرتي. Then the whole shibhul jumla becomes what? Say in Arabic, the shibhul jumla or shibhul jumlati مفعول به غير صريح. Say no say محلا first. Say what first? What state is it in? منصوب محلا. I mean, it's nothing wrong, but I want to have it uniform so everybody knows what we're doing. So it's not like, oh, you get mixed up, but you forgot. Let's keep it one particular structure. And the last word is what? مفعول به منصوب بالفتحة. Everybody following? Any questions? حرف نفي, is it حرف نفي? So حرف نهي, حرف نهي مبني على السكون, حرف نهي مبني على السكون. Then you say فعل نهي, you say to strict فعل. But what we say here is فعل مضارع. So it's فعل مضارع. Yes? Because the فعل مضارع, so it's نهي, but really the نهي is a فعل مضارع with a لا before it. So in إعراب we call it فعل مضارع. Okay? Then بعد حرف جر مجرور بالكسرة. Sorry, no, بعد حرف جر, not مجرور, مبني على الكسر. Good. Then لفظ الجلالة becomes what? مجرور بالكسرة. Right? Correct. And the شبه الجملة becomes what? مفعول به غير ثاني غير صريح منصوب محلا. And then لفظ أحدا becomes what? منصوب بالفتحة. What have we missed out? A فاعل. Is the فاعل. What's the فاعل? أنت. So we can say أنت. We're going to say here, we're going to bring the ضمير مستتر first. So أنت ضمير مرفوع محلا. Understood? We'll do the other examples inshallah. Tomorrow we have a few of them. Okay? Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So let us continue with the Arab. So we have atushrikuna billah. Break down each individual word. G. Yeah. It's not mabni al-sukun. Mabni al-fatah. So a mabni word, what do we need to know? So here, if it's mu'arab word, is what we do. It's mabni words, we have to write type of word and mabni on which haraka. So what is it? Hamzatul istifham. And then mabni alal fathi. So hamzatu is harfu istifham, mabniyun alal fathi. Good. Next word is what? فعل مضارع. So we know what grammatical state is it in? مرفوع. And how is it مرفوع with? How is the مرفوع being shown? How do you know it's مرفوع? What's the alama of the مرفوع? ثبوت النون. So the noon is staying in place. That's a sign that it's مرفوع. Understood? So the next word we have is billah. So let's break billahi down. G. Yeah, so we do the next part. So each word individually. Do the word ba, do the word lafz jalala, then do the shibul jumla all together. So how do you do the i'rab of this? No, do the ba first. The ba. So ba is what? No, you say ba is harfun jar. Ba is harfun jar. Oh, sorry, we missed out one thing. Okay, let's do that. Ba is harfun jar. So we forgot the ba. We do the ba later on. What's the ba? Do the ba. Ba is what? Jar. Ba is harfun al jar. Or you say harfun jar. Harfun. You say mabniyun ala al-kasri. G. And then after that, what do we have? Lafz jalala. What is lafz jalala? So it's what? Majroorun. Bil kasrati. Because the ba is harfun jar. Ba is the amil. It makes it majroor. So it becomes majroorun bil kasrati. Understood? Majroorun bil kasra. And then the whole shibul jumla becomes what now? This whole thing, this shibul jumla becomes what? مفعول به Because this is what? The maf'ul bihi of tushrikuna ghayr sari. So if maf'ul bihi, sorry, maf'ul bihi ghayru sarihin. And then what's the i'rab of maf'ul bihi? Mansoob. Is there a sign of mansoob? The shibul jumla's i'rab is always going to be what? Mahallan. It's a slot. It's not an exact, there's no sign of it being mansoob. And let's go back to the fa'il. We missed the fa'il out. We didn't do the i'rab of the fa'il. So who's turn was the fa'il? So tushrikuna. The noon is the fa'il mudari. That's the alama of the mudari. And then the waw is fa'il marfu'un mahallan. Correct? And then the waw itself has what in it? A sukoon. Yes? Understood? Did everyone understand this i'rab? Is it clear to everybody? Yeah, so we've done the rules and also done the i'rab. So i'rab, the more you practice, the more we get familiar with this. It's not difficult, it's a matter of getting the right structure. What do we say in which place? And the more practice we do, inshallah, we get used to it, inshallah. Any other questions before we finish off today? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, if you have ja'a, no. See, the mufid is a jumla becomes mufid when you stop. It makes sense to somebody. Say ja'a, he came. That's a sentence. Sami'a, he heard. So even here you can't see the fa'il, but the fa'il exists in the zamir mustatir. That's also jumla that's also qawlun mufidun. Now again, this is also it's not so important that what's mufid and what if I ask you a question about what did you eat and you didn't say the maf'ul bihi. This is all like it's not really gonna make a difference in the grammar or the actual application. It's all just like basic terminology. So the question, for example, if I ask you min ayna ja'a, is it ji'tu? Is that mufid or not? Because you're not really answering the question. I get the question, but it's not really too important. That's like making it's overcomplicating a science where it's not. That's not really going to essential to the science. That wouldn't affect the i'rab. It wouldn't affect the meaning of the sentence. It wouldn't affect the balagha or the essence. You get what I'm trying to say? So I want to go down like all those technical. Some books have those kind of discussions. Yes, but that's not important. So I want to go down that route. Okay. The main thing is you know the i'rab, you know the meanings of the word, how the different structures in i'rab change the meaning and affect the meaning. So you can read correctly and you understand the concept. All the small technical details, it's not too important for grammar. Some books go into that and they spoil the science. Okay, let's stop here inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.